What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Mike here once again. I haven't been posting for a while. Been a little frustrated. Last post was basically my progress on obtaining my Class A CDLs. With that being said, I ran into a snag. Honestly, the snag was me. First and foremost, let me just say, changing lanes, changing things. Smash that like, subscribe. I was told by my granddaughter that my videos are kind of boring. And honestly, they're going to be kind of boring. This is probably the informative portion of my videos. A little bit insight, but mostly informative. But for the most part, they're going to be boring for a minute. Until I'm out there on the road, living the trucking life. But for the most part, they're going to be boring for a hot second. But let's try to get in on the ground floor. Changing lanes, changing things. Remember, subscribe, like for more content. With that being said, let's jump right in. So, the class that I went to, they teach you, they test you as well. With them, since you're learning with them, they test their test facilities as well. You get 2 free tests. Blew through them. Of course, I passed the pre-trip, the tug test, the air leakage, all that stuff. I passed all that, so I didn't have to worry about that anymore. But the maneuvers, I have to say, I informed them that I needed help on my maneuvers. Honestly, it fell on deaf ears, but I did my best. I found some outside resources via YouTube. Found some videos that kind of helped me out, but it didn't help me pass my test. But it did help me. I learned something. Shout out to all the videos I watched because they did help me. Now, with that being said, I blew through my first 2 tests, and after the second test, you have to pay. It is just to set your appointment up. You have to pay for the rental. You have to pay for what you have to retake. I had to take the skills. I had to take the skills and the road. So that was $88. I had to pay right there just to make an appointment. And when you come back, you have to pay the $100 for the truck rental. So went back, boom, failed it again. So it's $188 no matter what happened. If you missed unless you call and reschedule, you miss your appointment, that's $88 gone. You show up, you pay the $100, you mess up on your maneuvers and fail the maneuvers, that's $188 gone. Just to let you know, I'm gonna do, the quick version of it. Well, it's reversed because I got it on frontal screen. $940 is what I eventually had to pay total for my testing. So, that's where I am on that. $940. But last portion, I mean, I haven't been posting because I've been seriously stressed out. My as I said, I own a moving company. That is stressing me out. Shout outs to all my entrepreneurs out there who've been doing it, still doing it. I've had enough. So I'm not here, I'm not here to plug my moving company. We are awesome. We something like the coldest. But that portion of my life is going to be done as of June 24th. So make a long story short, still gonna be a long story, but jumping back in, I went in. It was something about that day. That day was different. Usually I get in there, they tell you to be a half an hour early. I'm usually there like an hour early, whether my test is at 8 o'clock, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 5 p.m., no matter what time it is, I'm usually an hour early. This particular day, I arrived 2 hours late somehow. I went in at 9:30. Well, I wasn't 2 hours late, but I went in at 9:30 thinking my test was at I got there a half an hour early. I said I'm not going to sit up there all this time. But I went in about 9:30 thinking my appointment time was 10 o'clock, and my appointment was 8 a.m. I walked in, hey, how you doing? And I've been in there so many times, and everybody know me by name. She said, where you been? I said, what do you mean? I'm early. What you talking about? She said, no, your appointment was at 8. So I'm sitting up here like, okay, I paid the entire test this time. I said, oh, that's $188 down the drain. But she looked on her paper. She said, she was telling me that, she said a lot of times people will cancel. So you can call up here every day, and if anybody cancels, you can come in and take their slot. And she said, hold on. She said, but unfortunately, that $188 you about to be paid, and then she just stopped. I said, she was about to tell me I'm about to lose it. But she looked on her paperwork. She was like, you know what? She said, 15 minutes. There's a 10 o'clock that somebody canceled. You can take that slot. She's like, everything's lined up for you today. She said, you're going to pass today. And I did. Test number 7, I passed. So with that out the way, I'm moving forward. Now, with that being said, now my journey is finding employment. Employment has not been an easy journey, and I still haven't found employment. I have some prospects out there who have been, we've been having some go back and forth. I put out the application, they send back another full application, I send them the full application, and they then call me. They get history on me, criminal background, do you use any drugs, how's your driving record, these types of things. Only thing really I have in my background is criminal background from eons ago, but that's a whole nother story that I might tell you about if I get enough likes, enough subscriptions, and enough requests for it. But outside of that, moving forward, there's only been 2 companies that I've really been having a lot of exchange with. One's a flatbed, one's a dry van. But the dry van is the one that I've really, I'm sending them information that I don't really want to send nobody. I'd rather hand people and they hand it back. So hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, this is the place I'm going to be, and they give me an opportunity to work with them so I can gain the experience, the knowledge, and I can get into doing what I want to do. So with that being said, what I have taken it upon, I have this thing where, they say, they have this expression, never put the carriage in front of the horse, So it's like, don't do this unless you know you're going to do this. I tend to do that. I remember one time I was going to buy a car. I bought a car charger. Everybody was like, why you buy a car charger if you don't have a car? Because I'm getting it. And of course, I got it. So with that being said, I purchased the Garmin Diesel OTR, Garmin Dezlcam OTR 710. Now, I'm probably going to have to flip this camera around so you can see better. So bear with me on this. So it's going to go black for a minute. And let me get a quick look, see where it's at. But basically, I have purchased this OTR 710. Now, before we get into that, this is my old Garmin. I do not remember what it is. I have not used it in years, but it's just a basic Garmin. It's actually the first Garmin I ever bought. It color touch screen, 9-inch display, possibly 9-inch display, possibly turn by turn. It works beautifully. and it worked beautifully for me until I decided to go to New York. New York, Manhattan in particular. New York was a bit different than anything I've dealt with. Uh, they have a lot of low stuff. They have, you're walking down the street. It's and you have to cross over that street. That you're going through an intersection and going down the center of the lane. It is a bridge where the train runs. That is about 10 feet high. I mean, well, no, say maybe like 11 to 12 feet high, where a 13-foot truck will not fit. So that's what I dealt with. It was crazy trying to get out of there. Upon arriving home, I went and purchased this baby. This is the Diesel Garmin. It is basically set up for truckers. Basically, the difference here is you have different size trucks you can set up for, different size vehicles. I don't know if you can see it, if it's any glare or anything, but I have a car, 13-foot high truck, and 11-foot high truck. These are the variations that I use when I am doing my moves or just out on vacation trying to figure out where all these places are. But with that being said, like I said, I bought the Dezlcam OTR 710. Now, this right here, this one, the first one was like maybe $199. This one maybe about $300 or $400. This one right here I bought it on Amazon for $650. This has to be the most expensive one that I have purchased. With that being said, I'm going to flip the camera back around, so bear with me. All right. And get into it. Now, first thing we notice immediately is this is my biggest Garmin that I own. This is my best Garmin that I own. And this is my new Garmin that I own. Now, immediately, the Diesel and the Diesel, no comparison in screen size. That one must be a 5-inch. Now, my biggest Garmin that I owned was this one. Slight comparison, but still much bigger. There's no power in it, so maybe later I will give you an update on how it's working for me. But this one has the cam, so can't wait to use that. That way, I've been watching a lot of videos, and a lot of times I see people cutting off truckers, things like that. So, I mean, honestly, my Diesel Garmin, I love it. There's nothing like it in the world for me. It just, I'm not here to take a giant crap on one. You got your Rand McNally's out there. You got you got all these different versions of Garmin out there. A long time ago, it used to be the TomTom, I believe it was. Probably YouTubers, fresh YouTubers, it was probably way before y'all time. But, Garmin, Rand McNally are, I believe, the top 2 contenders out there in
Please
navigation.
drive to highlighted road.
But see, as you can see, it will give you turn by turn, highlights your destination, even though everything is reversed. It'll highlight your destination. So that's what I have to look forward to with the new one, except for the fact that I will now have a dash cam, because like I said, I see a lot of videos where people cutting off trucks, getting mad at truck drivers, slamming on the brakes, things like that. I ain't got time to be playing with y'all. Y'all gonna hold me up, I'm gonna hold your finances up. But in a nutshell, only thing I've noticed different You know, they still have the suction mount, okay, and the power source. Only thing I've noticed different is the type of input on the power source. Power source on the Garmin's were usually set like this. That's my first one. And here is my second one. Both are the same. This one, I love. They have switched to Seaport. I believe that's Seaport. Got it upside down, but I'm gonna love this. I have a Samsung. I don't have an iPhone. I can't stand iPhones, but I may get a tablet just for my ELD purposes. I mean, an iPad for my ELD purposes. But we're a Samsung house around here. That's another story. Changing lanes, changing things. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Could cut y'all loose. I ain't gonna hold too much of time up. And my granddaughter, if you're watching, yes, this is another boring video. But like I said, right now, it's all about information. Obtaining your CDLs. If you got comments, questions, everything I had to go through to get them, everything I had to go through to get them up until this point. There are things about trucking I do not know. I do not know how to strap your load if it's a flatbed. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm not into flatbedding yet. I'm not into anything yet. I mean, as far as different little things here and there, you know, I know a lot about truck stops. I've been to so many because of my business. I do a lot of out-of-state jobs. But outside of that, that's pretty much it. Changing lanes, changing things, moving on from my moving company to trucking. Like I said, we'll get into that portion later in later videos. I'll explain what's going on with why this came about. But other than that, I'm gonna cut y'all loose. Changing lanes, changing things. Just remember, y'all, you can make money, you can make excuses, but you can't make both. All right, till next time, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day and be safe.